What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. So we're jumping in with some Marvel Rivals content today, specifically looking at the store because there wasn't a whole lot in terms of patch updates. This was really more of a store purchase. So we're gonna look at this from the angle of like the good, the bad, the ugly. So let's talk about the good. We'll start off with that one. The good is essentially we got a new one new uniform in the store that's basically being bundled in a purchase with the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So we get Wanda and we get Doctor Strange uniforms for the price of about 3,000 units. This is not necessarily a bad price in my opinion because the Wanda uniform is selling individually for about 1,800 units, and then the Doctor Strange uniform, the typical for the Doctor Strange uniform would have been about 2,200 credits. So between the two of them, there would have been about 4,000 units in total for the pricing. But because of the bundle package, you're basically getting the Wanda uniform, in my opinion, for about 800 units. So there's a big discount on those uniforms. So if you play as Wanda, you like the Multiverse of Madness uniform, you haven't purchased it yet, this is an incentive to buy you. Now, the really weird part that they've done with this, part of the bad, is essentially you cannot purchase for some reason the Doctor Strange uniform without purchasing the bundle. I'm a little confused about that one. Like if I go to the hero for Doctor Strange over here and I pull up this uniform, there's no way of acquiring it individually at its cost. So we go into his cosmetics, for instance, we get this nice entry screen for his. It looks really cool, him rising from the ground. We get the demon sprawling around him, and then they basically take over his body, and we get all the hands that's coming towards him. He has a really designed look inside here. I really like the inspiration, and we get this nice, really cool animated cloak. I think a lot of Doctor Strange players are going to be pretty happy to see this uniform because it's pretty badass. I think like the cloak and everything like that, it looks really cool. I think there's going to probably some players who are upset again with the hands and them blocking somewhat of the vision there, but it's part of the uniform overall. I'm probably going to acquire this uniform just because I really dig it. I really like it, and I'm supporting the game in and of itself. But it's a really cool look overall. We also have the MVP screen for him. A little simple in my opinion with the MVP screen, but it's not necessarily bad. It's probably one of the shorter MVP screens that I can remember, but it looks really cool, that detail that happens at the end. We do get a new emote for Doctor Strange as well. So we get the nice bursting from the demon from his chest. It looks pretty cool. And then we get the spray for the Multiverse of Madness as well. So we'll have to scroll. Well, that one's down here in the bottom of locked ones, but it's a pretty cool looking Multiverse of Madness like poster, if you may. Like, is it the best looking poster that I've seen in the game? No, not really, but it's a cool looking poster. I'll pull it out. So it's this one right here. This really is giving me more Ash Evil Dead vibes than it does Multiverse of Madness. It's not my favorite poster. I think they could have did a better job designing this one, but alas, it is what it is overall. So you get this with the uniform. So let's go back over to the store, so that way I can show you everything that's inside of here. So when you purchase that, you're going to collect all of those items inside the store. We also get the nameplate, which is animated as well, and it's a really cool looking animated nameplate. So the reason why I say the purchase price on Doctor Strange is about 2,200 is because if you go inside the store, typically these animated nameplates for them, those are usually the higher cost versions of the characters, or uniforms that get inserted into the store. And then we get the Wanda uniform as well. We saw this one really cool with the emote as well, and then you get the non-animated nameplate, and then we get the poster, which looks a lot cooler to me. So all of that basically 10,000 units in price. I know it says the 5,400, but I always hate that 5,400 price. So remember, you can gift these as well. So I think that's pretty the good. The bad is, why can we not purchase this individually? I don't know if that's something errored in the shop for why we can't purchase it individually, but when you go to the store, for some reason or another, that costume for Doctor Strange is just not pulling up. So like if I go in here and I confirm this, the costume is not there individually. So you can see this was the $2,200 previous price one. It's not there for me to individually purchase. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but that does bring us over into another good, and that is that Penny Parker is receiving an additional uniform. Why is she not in the store? I don't get it. She's not in the store either. Something, they should have taken the time down for the server because it's bad. So Penny Parker's Yatsuhagi Peach Momoko Days design uniform is available. I find this uniform to be quite cute. It's very endearing. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. So with this, you get the nice MVP screen. It's so cute to me. I don't know, but I think a lot of players who are playing Penny Parker right now, especially with her buffs in this season, are going to be pretty happy with this Peach Momoko Demon Days design inside here. The MVP screen is very fun. I like it. And then we get a nice nameplate, and we get a nice spray as well for 1,600 units. So those are in there. Now let's talk about the bad. And the bad is really going to come down for me in terms of these new costume colors. Now the costume colors only really take effect for 4 of the uniforms that are currently in the game. You basically have to own them already in order to unlock the chroma windows with them. And it's not even like you're unlocking a chroma palette with them. You're just unlocking a different color. That's it. It's giving you a new color combo. It's not like it's giving you the ability to change through a variety of colors. So you can see here, we've got Magic, we've got Psylocke, we've got Luna, and then you've got Bucky's Winter Soldier's uniforms in there. And it's their specific uniforms, and then they're just a reimagined color design on those uniforms. So for instance, here it goes. For some reason now with the feature shop, maybe it updated. I don't know what it is. So you can see, well, okay, the skin is going to cost you $2,400 if you buy it individually. It really doesn't make sense to buy that one at individual purchase price. What the hell's going on with this shop? Okay, there it goes. Now when you go down, you can see it. Okay, cool, whatever. So if you look at these uniforms, you can see the chromas associated to them. The Luna Snow one, for instance, inside of here, you have to own this Luna Snow uniform already. The Mirai skin has to be owned. And then what you're essentially doing is getting a different color. So it's the Luna Snow Mirai 2099 bundle, and then you basically get this new chroma that's added to it. Now that brings into it that we add this new monetization issue in here, where we got unstable molecules and stuff like that. So you can see those here. But in order to get these unstable molecules, they're 1-to-1 with the normal price points that we have to purchase. I brought this up in a previous video about chrono tokens, where they had the battle pass now has the ability for you to exchange 1,000 chrono tokens for 100 units. But if I wanted chrono tokens and I need to purchase those chrono tokens, I have to pay 100 of the lattice to get 100 of the chrono tokens. That makes sense when the units are 1-to-1 as well, because 100 lattice is equal to 100 unit. It's very, very confusing. Now they talked about possibility of adding an ability to earn these unstable molecules in other places, which would be nice if they just dumped them inside of, the ranked matches and the rewards there, or just gave like events where you could earn these, because right now I don't see the purpose to this, where you're just basically getting a preset costume design. I look at this in a sense from the same perspective of, for instance, let's take a look at another hero. So you have not Black Panther, you had Hulk, for instance, right? And Hulk has his cosmetics. Well, if I look at Hero Hulk and I look at Mighty G-Bomb Hulk, guess what? They're essentially the same. There's no real big difference here. These are chromas, right? Like, I'm looking at the uniforms basically between the two. These are chromas. It's just slightly ever so changing the colors of the costumes. And in order to acquire these, you were paying 600 units. So why now do we have the difference of how we're introducing chroma changes, where it was just previously purchased for 600 units and now we're adding chroma windows to do even more? I don't like it necessarily, because it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to basically do those. And are the chromas something that you're really willing to pay 600 lattice for? That's up to you on the designs and whether or not you feel these designs are really worthy of you getting those. But bear in mind, the main point that I want to make is that these are not changes in the effect of you get control over the chroma. You are just getting a new chroma design for 600 of these unstable molecules, which are just equal to the 600 of the units, which is equal to 600 of the lattice. It's weird. It's bad teetering on the ugly because we just get a new monetization. Now, I do get it that if I've purchased this uniform previously and you add a way for me to freely obtain the unstable molecules, then I can understand that. It's a way to incentivize maybe the battle pass, a way to incentivize, you know, playing comp missions because you get a new thing that can be added and the ability to unlock those. So I'm not completely on the side that this is bad, but it ugly, but it sort of teeters into bad because it's just, I don't think it's what people really want. I think the idea of maybe having a color palette that I have access to just rightly change, you know, color layers on a uniform would be more appreciative than just having an additional preset chroma inside there. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But that's everything that's basically been added to Marvel Rivals for the April 18th, April 17th update. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Remember, take the time to like and subscribe. Until next time, peace.